Hi everyone, it's Laurel here and welcome to Collab with the Two L's. Me and Laura from Making Cards is Fun decided to team up for a video series, and we're going to be using the same stamp sets that we each own, and we're going to create something and film a video and post it. So today we're going to be using the Essentials by Ellen 'Tis the Season stamp set, and this is the card that I'm going to be making today, and I will link to Laura's blog post below in my YouTube description so you can see what she made with the same stamp set. So this is the stamps that I'm working with over there to the left. It's called 'Tis the Season. It is so much fun. I love the sweater. I've already made cards with the gingerbread man and that super cool Santa. I love all the fun little sentiments on it. It's so much fun. And then that other stamp set is Bokeh Dots, and I'm going to be using one of the dots from that stamp set, also by the Essentials by Ellen line. So to start with, I've got just some regular Neenah Solar white cardstock, and I needed to create a background panel for my card. So this stamp set over here is called Impression Obsession. It's the Diagonal Stripes stamp set. And I'm going to create a striped background. I've seen Laura do this in some of her cards lately. She's been creating stripes, big bold stripes, and I thought it was super fun. So I wanted to kind of use her idea and kind of create my own background. So I'm inking it up with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is a pigment ink, and I normally don't use that for backgrounds because it's a pigment ink that stays wet longer, and chances are I will smear my ink, which I did just a little bit. You can't see it, but I wanted a very bold, crisp background there. So that's why I chose to use the pigment ink there. Now I'm going to, I took one of my Marvy circle punches and I punched out some watercolor paper, that's Strathmore watercolor paper, and I'm going to create my little scene right there in that circle. So I'm using, again, the VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp my sweater. Now I'm using this because it's a pigment ink. I can heat set with it very quickly because it stays wet longer. So I'm sprinkling on some clear embossing powder and I'm going to heat set that, and I do it for two reasons. One, anytime I watercolor, I do this because it keeps my lines crisp and black, and sometimes when you watercolor over them, it softens up the line. And then second, it also acts as a little border or barrier almost when you heat set that. And I'm going to take a sentiment also from the same stamp set, and I'm going to heat that with, or I'm going to stamp it with some VersaFine ink and also heat set that as well. It says, "Time to be merry." I love that little sweater. It's so much fun. And I'm going to be doing some very, very, very basic Copic, I'm sorry, I keep saying Copic, watercoloring with a distress marker, and the color I am choosing to work with, of course, is Peacock Feathers. So I'm scribbling that down onto my Tim Holtz craft sheet, and then I'm picking it up and coloring in. This is very simple watercoloring. I'm not really trying to do too much shading or anything like that. I wet my little paper first, my image first, and then I'm going in and adding the color, and basically the water is doing all of the work for me. So I'm just going to make sure that I get a good coverage of that Peacock Feathers down on my sweater. And then I'm going to I have a damp wet wipe standing by, and I'm just going to dab off some of the center there just to kind of lighten it up just a little bit, and that is it. That is my sweater. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. So I'm going to zap that with my heat gun real quick, and then I decided I wanted to add polka dots to the sweater. This is a great way to stretch your stamps. So I'm taking that little itty bitty polka dot right there from the Bokeh stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that polka dot in Versamark ink, and then I'm going to heat set it in white. I wanted some white polka dots. So I took my little embossing buddy, which is just an anti-static powder bag, just so my powder doesn't stick to places I don't want it to stick. And then I'm basically stamping the polka dots in Versamark blind because I have no idea where I'm laying down those polka dots, just so you know. I can't see it. I'm like trying to look and see where it is. Well, I don't know. So I'm going to take my white embossing powder and I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it onto the sweater. And doing this, it's going to let me know where I stamped my polka dots. And if I missed an area, which I totally did, I missed the whole left sleeve, and then I missed the bottom of the sweater. And then I did overlap some of my polka dots a little bit, so I'm going to take a dry brush and kind of brush away the overlappage of the polka dots, and then I'll go ahead and heat set this. And then I've got a cute Peacock Feathers polka dotted sweater. How awesome is that? I want one. If you are any of your fashion designers or you know how to sew, go ahead and whip me up one of these sweaters, and I'll wear it all the time. So anyway, I put that little circle up to the background there with the stripes, and I thought that the kind of off-white color of the watercolor paper just wasn't a good match. So I'm taking some Festive Berries Distress ink, and I'm going to go around the edges of that with that Distress ink there just to add some color, and I'm going to see if that works for me. So I'm going to put it up against my background again. Look at those polka dots, aren't they cute? And yep, didn't like that either, so I decided that whole background panel needs to be red. like a nice wash of red. So I'm going to go in with my distress tool again, and you can see that I did not do a good job blending it together because I was moving so quickly. So with a combination of a damp wet wipe and a wet paintbrush, I was able to blend all that ink in beautifully. I love distress inks. They formulated to react with water, and they're so easy to work with. So now I'm pretty happy with the red there, but I thought my background was just a little bit too plain, so I decided to create my own little text background there. So I'm going to grab the 'Tis the Season stamp set, or the sentiment from that same stamp set called 'Tis the Season, and I'm going to fill in all of the white space in between the lines with the 'Tis the Season sentiment. And for this, I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's a dye ink, so it dries right away, so no chances of me smearing like I would have done if I had tried to stamp this with the Onyx Black pigment ink. So I'm going to go in and fill all that in until I create my own little background here, and I just love how this turned out. This is so cute. So this is a great way to customize and stretch your stamps even more. Create your own little background. So I am ready to...
I don't know how to respond to
my
that.
phone started talking to me. Sorry about that. Anyway, so now I'm ready to finish off this card here. So I'm going to pop that little circle up with some foam tape. I'm using some double-sided foam tape by Scotch. And then that's going to be this card. And I know you guys are going to be very surprised. But I am not going to grab my Wink of Stella glitter brush pen and fill in that sweater. I know. I know. I amaze myself sometimes. I decided to not add any glitter. Go me. So that's it. That's the card. I love the polka dotted sweater. I love the text background, and I love this stamp set. So be sure to head on over to Laura's blog to see what she created. And remember, this is a video series. It's a collaboration with the 2Ls. So anytime we'll be posting videos periodically using the same stamp set. And we'll be posting it to our blogs and our YouTube channel. So be sure to check us out, and thanks for watching.